Amazing story now. About 9 months ago, I received a letter from a North West Tonight viewer in Congleton in Cheshire, and he told me a remarkable family story which happened exactly 50 years ago today.
Well, the events which changed Giles Chapman's life unfolded in the Lake District on England's highest mountain on April the 15th, 1966. Giles has rarely been back, but he returned this week to share his story with Peter Marshall.
The Lake District mountains are undeniably beautiful, but brutal too. 71-year-old Giles Chapman knows that all too well.
Because normally when you fall on the mountain, like as what one does, you stop, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself down and you carry on. But I suppose because of the ice, we didn't stop.
On the 15th of April 1966, Scawfell Pike bared its teeth. Giles was out hiking with his father James and his two younger brothers, 15-year-old Gavin and 19-year-old Adam. Their cousin Jeremy was also with them, along with a friend. It's unclear exactly where they were in cold, icy conditions when tragedy struck.
We must have hit heads on rocks and things. How far we fell, I think we must have fallen about 300 feet or so, I don't know.
Newspaper reports from the time tell how eyewitnesses thought that they were watching an avalanche of rocks. It was only when they looked more closely that they realised that they were seeing bodies tumbling down the mountainside. James Chapman and Giles's cousin Jeremy died on the mountain. His brothers Gavin and Adam died later in hospital. Giles was seriously injured. He came out of a coma in hospital 6 weeks later.
The sister came in, a lovely sister, very kind, and she said, "I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. You've had an accident, and I'm afraid your father Dad's been killed." And deep down, I think I knew that. Then I said, "Well, what about Adam and Gavin?" And she said, "Well, I'm afraid they were killed too." And I still remember, I get emotional still. I turned over to the wall and wept then, because suddenly it had hit me.
The effects of the injuries would stay with him throughout his life.
Every step I take since, I've been stepping with this, but my job was to get better. So, you know, terrible that happened, but I had to put that to one side and move forward.
He'll never forget those who died. He wants others to love the Lakeland landscape and respect its delights and its danger.
It's a fact which can't be changed. The wonderful hills are still there, but life goes on. Be careful, be aware of the facts, be aware of the potential dangers, and just enjoy the wonderful scenery, but be careful, be aware of what could happen.
Peter Marshall, BBC North West Tonight.
Giles Chapman, thanks very much indeed to Giles for sharing his story with us.
Extraordinary
really
man.
touching, yeah. 50 years ago today, real gentleman. Thanks, Giles.